So welcome to our chair yoga practice. If this is your first time, welcome. We're so happy you're here. If you are returning, welcome back. Happy to be joined by you again. Whether you're new or returning, I would be so thrilled if you would just take a moment to click on the little icon that looks like a cartoon speech bubble. That's going to be our chat. And maybe type in a quick hello. You could introduce yourself, let us know where you're tuning in from, maybe something that brought you joy this week or a fun fact about yourself. I always find it helpful in these sort of virtual classes that we try to, connect as much as possible. And these little chats are kind of a moment to bring us together, even though we're all tuning in from all over the country. I'm tuning in from Austin, Texas. Even though it's still really warm, we went ahead and carved our pumpkins. We just can't leave them outside all day or they start to rot really quickly. So we carved our pumpkins and then we're just keeping them inside until Halloween. Okay, let's see. We got Fran from Augusta, Georgia. Greetings, Fran. And Warren joining for the first time with his daughter, Kim from Albuquerque. Welcome, Warren and Kim. Awesome. So happy y'all are here. I am going to go to the next slide. So this is going to be recorded. So you may hear it say, this session is being recorded. And it's really just recording me so that later you can watch the class on YouTube. It should be available in about a month for y'all to watch later. Also, just so we can have the best audio experience for everyone, I'd love for y'all to stay muted during the class. And that is, you can achieve that by clicking on the little icon that looks like a radio microphone, and that'll mute you. And then at the end of class, I will invite you to unmute if you'd like to share, how you're feeling, what you enjoyed about class, questions you might have, or as I love to hear, ways I can improve. Always looking to get better. Okay. This is a chair yoga class with the GoGoGrandparent program. As you know, if you'd like more information on other services that are part of GoGoGrandparent, you can always go to their website, and that is at the bottom here. And it's conveniently nice and simple. It's just gogograndparent.com. And then there's also that 855 number there at the bottom of the screen, which you can call if you prefer to talk to someone instead of looking at the website. So other things that are available other than chair yoga is rides, meals, groceries, medication delivery, and then sort of like handyman services through GoGoGrandparent. We always like growing our community. So if you'd like to refer one of your friends to GoGoGrandparent, you get $30 in credit, they get $30 in credit, and we get a new member of the GoGoGrandparent community. So instead of win-win, really it should be win-win-win. Everybody wins. I know I talk a lot about community. It's just because that's one of the things that's so beautiful about GoGoGrandparent. And this Facebook group is one opportunity to connect with other people in the GoGo community. So it might be that you meet someone where you live who's a little bit closer to where you are, or you might just connect with somebody who you have things in common with. Just a nice space to connect on Facebook. Great. And this is my face. That's me. Of course, that picture is taken back in 2019. So it looks a little different now. This is what we're going to do today. So we're going to have this little intro, and then I'll be leading a sort of 40 to 45-minute chair yoga practice. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry. I will walk you through it. Essentially, we're just going to be utilizing a chair, and we'll be mostly moving seated in the chair, and there'll be some opportunities to stand using the chair for balance and support. But at any point during the standing portions, if you want to sit back down, you are welcome to do so. And at the end, we have this reflection time, question time. Again, more community building, hearing from each other, seeing how we feel after class. Okay. Oh yeah, so the chair, it needs to not have wheels so that you're not sort of rolling around because the idea is to build balance and stability. So you're welcome to use a sofa. Those sofas are a little tricky, right? Because sometimes we kind of sink down into them, and we do want to be working on lengthening up through our spine. So a chair might be the best choice here, as long as it doesn't have wheels. Okay, great. That's the end of my spiel. Let's just take a look in our chat box, see if there's anybody else who commented. Maureen, welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Jan from Inglewood, Colorado. An amateur astronomer. That's amazing. And retired critical care registered nurse. How wonderful. I just learned what a waxing and waning moon is, Jan. Oh, no, did I stop sharing? Oh, there, I stopped sharing. And then Countess says hi. Very good. And V has shared the link to our Facebook group in the chat if y'all want to click on that to join the Facebook group. Okay. Now, I always want to make sure everybody can hear me. So I'm just going to turn this slightly so my window's not quite so bright. And then I can see Fran and Judy and Doug pretty well here. So as I walk back, if you can just give me a thumbs up that you can still hear me even as I'm moving back. Okay, great. Fantastic. Oh, we got a message. Let me see what it says. It says, oh, yeah, Mary from Beverly Hills, Michigan. Beverly Hills, Michigan. I'm so intrigued by that. Welcome. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to our shared yoga practice today. A little reminder before we get started. My job here is just to give you some ideas of how you could move if you want to. You can choose not to move at any point. You can also choose to change the way you move so that it feels better for your body. You're welcome to opt in and opt out of any of these movements at any point and for any reason. So if you want to, one way you could begin your practice today would be to sort of sit back into the support of your chair. And maybe your legs get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you rest your hands on your legs and your elbows sort of get heavy. It's possible that you notice your Buddha belly making an appearance, letting our bellies get big and soft. We're not sucking in our gut right now. We're just letting everything get comfortable and soft. It's possible that you choose to close your eyes. You're also welcome to have your eyes open if you prefer. And in this moment, you may begin to notice that you are breathing. And it's possible that you'll start to notice what it feels like to breathe in and what it feels like to breathe out. And there's no wrong way to breathe. It may feel interesting here to inhale slowly through your nose, feeling your chest lift slightly, your belly expand. And then maybe you exhale slowly through your mouth, breathing out past when you think you are done exhaling. Breathing in at your own slow pace. Breathing out in a way that feels extended and luxurious. You may notice that as you inhale, your belly rises or gets bigger. And as you exhale, there may be a kind of softening in your stomach. Maybe your belly button even draws in towards your spine as you breathe out. Focusing on what it feels like to breathe. This is one way of staying connected to the present. It's a big part of our mindfulness practice, our yoga practice. anchoring ourselves to the present, to this moment that we're sharing together. It's perfectly normal if you notice your thoughts beginning to wander away. If you want to, you could guide your awareness and your thoughts back into the present moment, noticing each breath in, noticing each breath out. You may even find it useful to think silently to yourself as you inhale, I'm breathing in. And maybe you think silently to yourself as you exhale, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. And I'm breathing out. You're welcome to stay here connecting to your breath, honestly, for as long as you want. You may find that this is what you need right now. Maybe you want to stay here breathing for the next 40 minutes of your day, anchoring yourself to the present moment. If you're feeling that you'd prefer more movement in your body, you could begin to blink your eyes open if they were closed, maybe starting to find any kind of little movement that feels natural right now, maybe in your wrists, maybe some movement down in your toes or your ankles. It's possible that you begin to sort of extend your arms forward, maybe your feet lift off the floor. If it's available, you could stretch your arms overhead, taking a great big stretch, almost like we just woke up this morning. Exhaling to plant your feet, bringing your arms down. And if you'd like to, you could start to sit a little bit taller. Maybe scooting forward until you feel that you could plant your feet firmly on the ground in front of you. Maybe your hands rest on your knees. And if you'd like, you could start by leaning or hinging side to side. So we're starting with this movement. Depending on how you've been moving so far throughout your day, you may notice a significant stretching sensation here in the side of your body, some sort of lengthening feelings, stretching, lengthening. You could continue side to side, or if it sounds interesting to you, you could start to circle your torso. So maybe beginning to circle your torso, noticing any muscle dynamics here in our lower back. We're starting to warm up our hips, our lower back. You may even notice some engagement in your core or your abdominals as you circle back. We'll sort of take this in both directions, changing directions really as many times as you want. Sometimes the moment of changing directions can feel useful, really listening into how your lower back is feeling, the side of your body. We're using our hands on our knees for support here, still warming up. Deepening your breath in if you'd like. Lengthening your breath out. Then we'll start to come through what feels like a neutral seated place for you. And if you'd like to, you could slide your left hand back towards your left hip. So as you do that, you may notice that you sort of turn or twist to the left, breathing in. And then as you exhale, you could take that in the other direction. So we'll sort of slide our right hand back. Our left hand may come towards our knee, turning to the right, breathing in. Then we'll exhale to the other side. So you can choose here how you want to connect your movement to your breath as you move side to side. Maybe you inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Or there may be a different way of connecting your movement and your breath. We're really listening into our mid back here. It's sort of that space underneath our shoulder blades, the back of our rib cage. You may even feel this down in your hips or your lower back, maybe even sort of the upper parts of your legs, depending on how you're moving. Then we'll begin to come through what feels like center. And if you'd like to, you could begin to lean forward, drawing both hands in towards your hips. So I'm going to turn to the side just so you can sort of get a sense here of our spinal wave. We're drawing our hands towards our hips. So your elbows may move back. Maybe there's a lift in your heart, breathing in to come forward. And as you exhale, maybe we start to round. Maybe your fingers come towards your knees and possibly sort of rocking towards the back of your chair, bowing your head. So that as we inhale, we're lifting, sort of arching our upper back, coming forward. As we exhale, we're rounding, tucking, drawing your belly button in towards your spine. And then we'll inhale to come forward, finding that big, big Buddha belly. Exhaling, rounding, rocking back. So sometimes this is called a spinal wave. Some people call it cat and cow. We're sort of exhaling as we round like a cat coming back. Inhaling as we find that big, big belly coming into our cow. And really the idea here is just to listen into your spine, all the muscles from your sort of upper back and your shoulders all the way down towards your hips. Finding your range of motion. And giving our spine a chance to articulate in a way we maybe haven't let it move today or in a while. And we'll start to come back through neutral whenever you're ready. And as you come through neutral, if you'd like to, you could begin to reach your arms slowly overhead, maybe inhaling as you reach up. So as you exhale, if you'd like, you could bend one elbow and reach up with the other arm. And then we'll inhale, swapping that out. So imagine sort of reaching up with one arm and the other. You may feel some lengthening into your shoulder, almost like we're adding more space in between each of our ribs. You could begin to find some movement in your fingers here as you sort of grab the sky above you and pull it down. Or grabbing clouds or the air above you, pulling it down. Sometimes we may feel more sensation into the side of our body, maybe into your shoulders. Now, this movement could stay overhead, or it may feel instinctive to begin sort of reaching over and across, so that our left hand is sort of reaching over and to the right, and our right hand is sort of reaching over and to the left. That may feel useful or interesting into your upper back, your shoulders. We'll begin to come through center whenever you feel ready. There's no rush. Maybe we inhale to reach both hands up, breathing in. On your exhale, you could fold your fingers towards the base of your palm, making a gentle fist, and then we'll start to circle our wrists, continuing to breathe all the way down, circling our wrists, getting out any snap, crackle, pops that might be hiding there. I always have one wrist that makes all sorts of noises. I don't think my microphone's picking it up. Let's inhale, reaching up. And as we exhale, maybe you start to flick through the air. So we're going sort of from a fist to spreading our fingers. We're looking for sensation, circulation into our fingers, some strengthening into our forearms, the fingers. As you inhale next, maybe you reach right back up. And this time as we exhale, we're going to wiggle our fingers. So finding your full range of motion in each of your fingers, continuing to breathe all the way down. Really intentionally finding your full range of motion in your thumbs and your fingers. You may feel some muscle strengthening feelings here all the way down your arm into your fingers. At the bottom, you could just sort of shake out if you'd like. Let's inhale to reach up. This time, as we exhale, you have the option of bringing your fingertips to your shoulders. And maybe we start to find any kind of circular movement in our elbows that feels useful today. Now, you may find that you want to circle one elbow and then the other. You could also circle them both sort of at the same time. Sometimes I find it useful to bring one elbow to complete stillness and just focus on one side for a minute. You could try that, see how that feels. We're really listening into our full shoulder joint, letting it know that we're listening in, we care how it feels. You can sort of adapt your movement to how you're feeling. And maybe you try both sides. If you're holding your breath, this could be a moment to take a deep breath in and exhale out. And whenever you feel ready, you could open your elbows to the side, maybe a little lift in your heart, breathing in. As we exhale, maybe you bring both elbows forward, possibly bowing your head. And then as we inhale, you could open your elbows, lifting through your heart, and exhale, maybe bowing your head. Now you could continue with your fingers on your shoulders or for a little bit of a different sensation. On your next inhale, you could sort of cactus or goal post your arms, breathing in. And then as we exhale, sort of bringing your forearms a little closer together in front of you, maybe you bow your head. So that as we inhale, we're opening wide, and as we exhale, we're drawing together. Now, this is a significant strengthening movement in our shoulders and our upper back. So you may begin to feel those muscle dynamics in your upper back, your shoulders. Maybe once more if you'd like. It's really up to you how many times you want to take this. On an inhale, if you'd like, you could extend your arms wide. And as we exhale, maybe you float your arms all the way down. You may find it useful here just to shake out a little bit or circle your wrist. You could also place your hands on your legs and give your shoulders a little roll out. So just kind of listening into our shoulders, seeing how they're feeling, taking a few rolls in each direction. And we're going to give our shoulders a little break. So maybe we inhale to roll them both up, and you could exhale your shoulders down and back, and then bring your awareness down into your feet. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you can sort of see my feet in case that's useful. We're exploring lifting one heel and then the other. Now, there's a lot of different muscle dynamics at play here. So you may feel some sensation in your calves. You may feel sensation down into your feet, your toes, maybe closer to your ankles or your shins. You could continue to lift one heel and then the other, or for a different sensation, you could inhale to lift your heels. And then as you continue breathing, we could sort of pop our heels from side to side. Noticing how that might feel into your shins. And then if there's anybody tuning in from Kansas, you can always tap your heels together real quick, make your way back home. Then we'll just lift one foot and then the other. So taking your time here and noticing what it feels like to lift one foot off of the ground and then the other. You're welcome to use the support and the strength of your hands to lift one foot or one leg and then the other. If you'd prefer, you can also keep your hands on your knees and sort of notice what it feels like to use the muscles of your legs and your abdominals to lift one foot and then the other. If you're clenching your jaw, this could be a moment to soften your jaw, the inside of your mouth. You may find it useful just to open and close your mouth a few times, bringing some softness to our face. Now, the next time you are lifting your left foot off of the ground, you have the option to hold your shin or the back of your knee and sort of take a moment to pause here. I'm going to turn to the side just in case that's useful. So as you're holding your left knee, if you're noticing that you're kind of rounding towards your leg, you may want to explore lifting and lengthening up through your spine, breathing in. And as we exhale, there could be some movement down into your ankle. Maybe you want to circle your ankle or point and flex your foot. If it sounds interesting, you could bring some stillness to your foot and using the strength of your hands here, maybe find some side to side movement with your knee through the air. So we're looking for any sensation into our hip joint, maybe some softening feelings. You could also circle your knee through the air. Finding some mobility, our range of motion in our hip joint. As you're ready, you could begin to extend your left leg forward, breathing in, maybe flexing your foot. As you exhale, slowly landing your heel. It is up to you if you want to have your leg straight or a little bend in your knee. Once you've decided which you prefer, You could begin to sit a little taller, breathing in. And as you exhale, maybe you start to lean or hinge forward. We're looking for a stretch into the back of our left leg here. Your right hand could be on your knee. You could also bring your right elbow to your knee if that feels more supportive today. You're more than welcome to stay right where you are, sort of breathing and noticing what that stretch feels like in the back of your left leg. If you're feeling that you'd prefer movement, on your inhale, you could look forward and lift up any amount. And then as you exhale, you could come back down, maybe even bowing your head. So that with each breath in, maybe we're lifting up. And as we exhale, maybe coming forward, maybe bowing your head if that feels useful today. You may notice that by adding in that sort of bowing your head movement or tucking your chin, that increases or changes the stretching sensation in some way. The subtle difference that you may notice that change in sensation. On an inhale, whenever you're ready, you could look forward. As you exhale, maybe bowing your head. As you inhale, you could look forward, this time reaching, rising, lifting, reaching your arms up. Exhaling your hands together towards the center of your chest. Maybe your hands push into each other for a moment of strength. Exhaling here. Inhaling, diving upward into the sky. And as you exhale, sweeping your arms slightly back and down. A little shake out. We'll go ahead and plant our feet and maybe bounce out our heels. And a little bit of windshield wiper movement, so our knees sort of melting side to side together, might feel useful into your hips. And one thing you could try here if you'd like is letting your feet gently roll from sort of their outer edge to their inner edge as they roll or rock from side to side. We're getting a little stretch here into the sides of our feet. And before we take that whole sequence on the other side, if you want to, you could plant your feet so sort of just a little bit wider than we had them earlier. Maybe using the support of your hands on your knees and then coming right back to those torso circles that we found a little earlier. With this wider stance, you may find that you have a little bit more range of motion, or it may feel a little different into your body. It may also feel exactly the same. You're welcome to continue circling for as long as you'd like. And then when you're ready for maybe a little bit of a different sensation, you could come forward, leaning forward any amount. So this is our first forward fold of our practice. Your hands could be on your knees. You could also bring your elbows to your knees. If you're feeling that you want to go further, you are welcome to slide your hands to your ankles or your feet, maybe even the ground between your feet if you're all the way down. Wherever we are in this moment, you have the option of bowing your head and maybe a little bit of swaying side to side. And we're not pushing into anything that feels pinchy or painful, just exploring maybe some subtle shifting or swaying side to side within your forward fold, noticing how that feels today, breathing wherever you are. As you feel ready, we'll go ahead and slowly bring our hands to your knees if they aren't there already. Start to look forward and then gently lifting up, taking your time to rise back to what feels like a neutral seated place. Maybe you reach up to breathe in. Exhaling your hands together to your heart. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms slightly back and down. We'll go ahead and heel toe our feet back towards a little bit of a more narrow stance. Maybe we bounce out our heels. Maybe we lift one heel and then the other. We're sort of setting up for that whole sequence on the other side. So whenever you're ready, there's no rush. You have the option of lifting your right foot off of the ground. Maybe you hold on to your shin. Maybe you hold on behind your knee. Either way, there's that invitation to explore lifting and lengthening through your spine as you breathe in. On your exhale, maybe there's some movement in your ankles, circling your toes. Maybe pointing and flexing your foot as you continue to breathe deeply at your own pace. Then if it feels interesting to you, you could bring some softness to your foot. And using the strength of your hands and your arms, you could guide your right knee from side to side. The more we can use the strength of our arms here, the more we're bringing some sort of spacious softening into our hip joint, maybe side to side movement, maybe a little bit of circular movement through the air. If you want to, you could begin to extend your right leg forward, maybe flexing your foot to breathe in. On your exhale, slowly landing your heel. Now, again, you do have the option of having a little bend in your knee, or you could explore straightening your leg if that feels nice today. Let's inhale to find your full spinal height. And as you exhale, it's possible that you start hinging forward. Each of us looking for a spot where we can find a stretch into the back of our right leg that feels interesting, useful today. Your left elbow could be on your left knee here if that feels supportive. And also bring your hand to your knee if you prefer. Sometimes holding a stretch can feel really nice. So you are welcome to stay right where you are. Sometimes that's called a static stretch, just staying within a stretch as you breathe, noticing that maybe each time you exhale, the stretch sort of softens a bit or you melt into it more. If you're feeling that you really want movement right now, you could inhale to look forward and we'll rise up slightly. Then as you exhale, maybe you come forward. Then you do have that additional option of bowing your head if that feels nice today. Maybe you inhale to lift up. Maybe you exhale to come forward. Remembering there's no wrong way to move, no perfect way of moving. Each of us are just exploring how these movements feel today, how the different stretches might feel, how our bodies are feeling today. Just looking for a sense of lengthening and strengthening. There's no rush. So if you'd like, you could exhale forward. And then as we inhale, maybe just looking forward. Then on your next breath out, you could bow your head. So that as we inhale, we could look forward, lifting, rising, reaching up overhead, exhaling your hands together towards the center of your chest. Maybe your palms push into each other. Breathing in, diving upward. And as you exhale, you could sweep your arms slightly back and down. We'll go ahead and plant our feet. Maybe we bounce out our heels. And then it may feel useful here to once again sort of tap your heels from side to side. And then after that kind of stretching into the backs of our legs, you may find it useful here to sort of lift your right foot off of the ground and then just let your foot move forwards and back. So we're looking for some softening around our knee joints, maybe even a couple circles or two. We'll just try that on the other side as well. So maybe you lift your left foot off the ground, taking some forwards and back movement. I don't know if y'all can hear how much noise my knee is making, but it's not crackling. That's perfectly normal for joints to make all sorts of noises, just listening in for sensations, making sure these movements feel good for your body. Let's go ahead and plant both feet if you haven't already. And if you'd like to, we could heel toe our feet out to a wider stance. Maybe your toes sort of angle out. And if you'd like to, you could inhale to find your full spinal height, sitting tall to breathe in. And as we exhale, maybe we start to lean side to side. So this movement is the same movement we began with. We just have a little bit of a wider stance, more support. You have the option of bringing one elbow and then the other to your knees for support as you lean side to side. As you lean to the right, if you want to, you could imagine sort of a rotation open, looking up at the sky. Then as you lean to the left, you could imagine sort of rotating up, looking past your right shoulder, so that we're finding not only a side stretch, but a little bit of a spinal twist here, opening side to side. If your arms really want to get in on this movement, you could begin to sweep one arm overhead and then the other. Maybe you notice how you're breathing as you're moving, feeling lengthening into the side of your body. It's really like we're adding more space in between each of our ribs, giving ourselves more space to breathe deeply. Slowly beginning to come through your center. Maybe you reach both arms. On your exhale, you could pull down through the air in front of you. We'll begin to heel to our feet back towards what feels like neutral. Maybe you inhale to reach up and exhale your palms together towards the center of your chest. If you'd like, you could interlace your fingers and take a little bit of movement in our wrists here. So sort of circling, kind of drawing a figure 8 as we circle our hands through the air. This movement could continue, or if you'd like, a little bit of a different stretch into your wrist. You could keep your fingers interlaced and draw your elbows away from each other so your palms are facing down. And then maybe you explore kind of lifting one wrist and then the other. So this might bring a deeper sensation sort of into the base of your palm on one hand and the back of your wrist on the other. You could continue this movement, or for one last way of checking in with our wrists, you could keep your fingers interlaced and turn your palms away from you. And maybe you extend your arms forward, possibly inhaling to float your hands overhead. And as we exhale, you could release your arms all the way down. If it's available, you could hold on to your chair here. Now, if for whatever reason that's not feeling good today, you could also reach your hands towards the wall behind you. If that doesn't feel nice either, you could also bring your hands to your hips, wherever you are. Maybe as we inhale, you take a lift in your heart. So we're looking for an arch into our upper back, breathing in. On your exhale, you could sweep your arms forward, crossing one arm over the other and letting your elbows get heavy on your body. And we'll just take a little bit of movement side to side, lifting into your upper back and your shoulders. Starting to notice which arm you have naturally placed on top. We're going to swap that out. So maybe as you inhale, you open your arms wide and to the side. And as you exhale, you could bring the opposite arm on top. Maybe turning side to side again. Breathing as we turn gently right to left, lifting into your upper back. When you start to come through what feels like center, you have the option of opening your arms wide, maybe a lift in your heart. As you exhale, sweeping your arms all the way up and overhead, and then pulling them down in front of you, resting your hands on your knees. You are welcome to remain seated. If you're feeling that you want to try some standing movement, one way of getting to standing, and you can get to standing however feels comfortable for you. This is just one way of getting there. So if you'd like, you could bring your feet in a little closer and start to lean forward. Maybe you reach forward until perhaps you feel your hips lifting off of your chair. And it may be that you push into the ground. Maybe you start to rise up to standing, reaching overhead to breathe in. And as you exhale, you could bring your arms all the way down. Little shake out in our hands. Take your time. We're going to move back behind our chairs so we can use our chair for support. This is a good opportunity to grab some water if you're feeling that you want to hydrate. Always a good idea to take a water break if you're feeling that you need one. And we'll start with some side to side movement. So if you're still seated, you could begin to sort of lean side to side the same way we explored the very beginning of our practice. You can adjust the width of how your legs are positioned as you're seated. If you're standing, your hands could be on the back of your chair, or you could bring your hands to your hips. It really depends how stable and balanced you feel in this moment. Maybe that side to side movement starts to become more of a circle. And if you're standing, it's possible that your torso starts to circle as well. And you'll notice perhaps that the more your torso circles, the more we're sort of checking in with the backs of our legs, lengthening our hamstrings, those big muscles that run up the backs of our legs, circling in both directions. Beginning to come through what feels like neutral for you. Wherever you are in this moment, if you'd like, you could bring both hands over to your left hip and sort of turn to the left. So we're coming into a spinal twist. It may feel useful here to continue looking to the left. So maybe even back towards the wall behind you. We'll just breathe here for a moment. Inhaling as you unwind through your center. And as we exhale, we'll take that on the other side. So maybe you bring both hands over to your right hip. Maybe we turn to the right. You may find it useful to sort of look to the right as well. So past your right shoulder towards the wall behind you. We're certainly not cranking into anything that feels pinchy or, uncomfortable or painful. We're just looking for a twist where we could stay for a few cycles of breath. Then we'll start to inhale our way back through center and exhale your arms down. We're going to use our chair for support if you're standing. So whether you're seated or standing, you have the option as you inhale of lifting your heels any amount off the ground. Then as you exhale, you could land your heels if they were lifted. We'll bend our knees and we'll draw our hips back into an invisible chair if you're standing. Whether you're seated or standing, you may find that you're leaning forward as you exhale. Then we'll inhale to sort of rise up. Maybe your heels lift off of the ground. Exhaling, landing your heels, bending your knees, drawing your hips back. Now, a few things that you may find useful here. With each exhale, as you bend your knees, we really want to actively draw our hips back towards the wall behind you so that our knees are about above our heels. And then as we inhale, lifting through your heart, lifting your heels, maybe even engaging your seats, finding some engagement in your abdominals to rise up, exhaling down. Now, if your arms are wanting to find more movement here, as you exhale into that invisible chair, you could also reach your arms overhead. And as we inhale, you may find it useful to come back to the support of your chair, just seeing if you can let your fingertips or your fingers be a little lighter on your chair. If you're really white knuckling your chair with your hands, maybe just bringing a little bit of softness to your fingers, seeing how that feels today. And the next time that you're rising up, maybe we pause for a moment of balance, engaging through your seat, finding something you can look at that's not moving. And that'll sort of be your focal point that will help you with your balance in this moment. It may be that you can bring one hand to your heart or both, or you may find you want to keep your hands on your chair. Wherever we are, let's breathe in. And as we exhale, if your heels are lifted, let's land them, releasing our hands down. We'll shake out, and maybe we lift one heel and then the other. Kind of bending one knee and then the other, sending weight from side to side. Now, something you could try here if you'd like would be to sort of plant your feet so that our toes are generally pointing towards our chair or our support. And then maybe we explore stepping one foot back and then the other. So we're sort of stepping back with our right foot and then bringing our feet together, and then stepping back with our left foot and then bringing our feet together. And you may start to notice that as you're stepping back with your left foot, there's a little bend in our right knee. So our body sort of shifts forward a little bit. We're exploring stepping back and stepping forward. We're getting a stretch into our calf. You are welcome to continue this movement, stepping one foot back and then the other. If it sounds interesting today, you could explore stepping your left foot back, bending your right knee slightly, and pausing here. So sometimes this is called warrior one. You may find that you want to reach your arms forward. If this feels very stable today, you could reach your arms overhead. Wherever you are in this moment, let's breathe in. And as you exhale, maybe you bring your palms together towards the center of your chest. We're going to lean forward until you feel you have enough weight in your front right foot that with control, we can step our left foot up to meet it and release our hands down, shaking out. Maybe we lift one heel and then the other. You could also pony kick. So bending one knee and then the other, sending one foot back and then the other. Noticing how you're breathing. And before we take that sequence on the other side, if you'd like to, with the support of your chair, you could begin to step your feet back and lean forward. So sometimes this is called supported downward facing dog. And the idea is to use the support of your chair or your sofa or a large piece of furniture for your hands, and your hips are sort of drawing back away. So we're looking for a significant stretch in the back of our legs, a stretch into our lower back, maybe even into our upper back and our shoulders. Sometimes it can feel useful to have a bend in our knees, or you may want to straighten your legs. Very gently sending your hips from side to side can feel interesting. You're welcome to try that. Wherever you are, let's breathe in and breathe out. As you feel ready, maybe you start to look forward. Once you're looking forward, you could begin to step your feet slowly in towards your chair, lengthening up through your spine, maybe even reaching up to breathe in. And exhaling as you pull down through the air in front of you, bringing your hands back to your chair. If it sounds interesting, you could step your right foot back, giving a little bend to your front left knee. So we're coming into what's sometimes called warrior one on this side. You may find that you want to reach forward. It is entirely up to you if you're feeling that you want to reach up with your arms. There's a sort of counterbalance here. Our feet are pushing into the ground. Our arms are reaching up. Wherever you are, let's breathe in. And as you exhale, maybe you bring your hands together to your heart. We're going to lean forward any amount until you feel you have enough weight in your left front foot that with control, we can step our back foot up to meet it, releasing our hands down, bending one knee and then the other. Something you may find useful here would be to step slightly back from your chair. And then whether we're seated or standing, we could explore lifting one knee and then the other, or lifting one foot off of the ground and then the other. As you begin to plant both feet, we'll start to make our way back in front of our chair, building what's sometimes called mountain form or our standing body. So feeling the connection between your feet and the ground, maybe you reach up to breathe in. On your exhale, you could bring your arms forward, bending your knees and drawing your hips back until you're sort of hovering above your chair. And then with control, we can sit into our chair, releasing our arms down and then reaching our arms all the way up to breathe in. Exhaling our arms down alongside your body. Maybe you rest your hands on your knees, planting your feet and coming back to some gentle circles in our torso. Deepening each breath in, lengthening each breath out. As you begin to come through what feels like center for your spine, we're going to take our final twist. So maybe you bring your right hand over to your left knee, and then you could turn to the left. As much as feels comfortable within your twist, imagine sitting just slightly taller, breathing in and breathing out. Unwinding back through your center, we'll take our twist on the other side. So your left hand could come over to your right knee. Imagine sitting just slightly taller, breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling as you unwind through your center. And as we exhale, I'd love to invite you to get as comfortable as you can possibly be. So maybe you sit back into the support of your chair. Maybe you take any last little movements you feel you might need before we transition to a moment of rest. There's no wrong way to move or be. Your hands could be resting on your legs or on your belly or on your heart. You're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like. If you're furrowing your brow, this could be a moment to sort of soften the space between and above your eyebrows. As you begin to once again connect with the sensation of breathing. As we transition into a moment of stillness and rest, a time to absorb the benefits of the practice we just shared. Your eyes could be closed or open, that's up to you. We'll be here for about 1 minute, after which I'll sort of bring us back with the sound of my voice. And all you need to do right now is rest and breathe. Slowly beginning to deepen your breathing in some way. Honoring your body by finding whatever little movements your body may be asking you for. Maybe in your fingers or your toes, ankles or your wrists. You could blink your eyes open if you'd like, or keep them closed. As we each begin to find whatever movements feel useful. It may be that you find a little length in your spine or sit taller in some way. If you'd like to, you could bring one hand over the other, over your heart, and take a moment just to notice any changes in how you feel since the beginning of our practice together. If your eyes are closed, you could blink them open. Maybe we reach up to breathe in, possibly exhaling your hands together to your heart. Peace and light and love from my heart to yours. Thank you all so much for sharing this time with me, this practice, for welcoming me into this beautiful community. If you'd like to share how you're feeling or your thoughts on the practice today or questions you might have, you're welcome to unmute. We have a few minutes to connect as a community.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed as usual. But I have a question, friend. The first one would be, is it beneficial for me to eat before I exercise?
Well, I think it depends on a lot of things, right? I think we're all sort of different in how we metabolize food and what amount of food feels good before exercise. I also think it depends what you're eating, you know? I think I would caveat this with I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but I can speak from my personal experience that as long as I've had a pretty hearty, protein heavy breakfast, then I do like to practice yoga like an hour after that, and then like an hour before lunch. So it's like I'm I'm fueled up with good protein, but I don't have a full tummy. Does that answer
Amen.
your question, my dear?
That's beautiful. And one more other thing. Uh, when you soak after exercise, would it be beneficial to run some like Epsom salt in your water? Or what do you think about alcohol and any of that? Not too much alcohol, just too much time. Not to burn out nothing.
You're cutting out a little bit. Did you say you wanted to add something to your water?
Yes, Epsom salt.
Oh, anything like all those like electrolyte packets and salts and things, I have found that if I'm exercising for less than 3 hours, I don't need to take those. And that seems to be what the consensus is among nutritionists. If you're exercising for like 3 to 4 hours and you're outside sweating, then 100% you need some electrolytes to replenish. But if this is the kind of exercise we're talking about, then I don't think you need to be adding salt to your
Thank
water.
you,
But
beautiful.
again, not a nutritionist, just my
Okay.
personal experience.
Okay. I mean, going on.
We have some comments coming in. Let's see. Elizabeth says relaxing workout. Thank you. Have a great day. You too, Elizabeth. Have a great day. Sonia says beautiful session. Namaste. Namaste, Sonia. Somebody says great workout. Thanks, but I don't know what your name is, but great. Thank you to you too. Angie says namaste. Oh, Annette says this class really helped her shake out her travel. Totally. Anytime we've been stuck in a car or on an airplane, we want to make sure we move and stretch out our bodies afterwards. I'm glad you joined us. Anybody else? Any questions, thoughts? You can even just share about yourself and meet the community. It doesn't have to be anything constructive. Kim says, thank you. We enjoyed. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad y'all were here. Margaret says, thanks for another great workout. You're very welcome, Margaret. Ah, oh, Miss Chloe. I'm so glad you're loving it. Peace to you too, my dear.
I find these sessions to be very productive.
Good.
And
Good.
Sometimes I'm laying on the bed, sometimes I'm on the bike. Sometimes I'm doing like I'm doing right now, just walking around in circles. But so,
Totally. That's great to hear. I think that's a good reminder to all of us that we all need to approach this, kind of listen to what we need in the moment, right? If your body just wants you to walk around, then that's what you should be doing. I love that. Oh, I'm sorry. I think you may have disconnected, but I'm glad you shared what you got out of the class. I'm glad you were here.
no, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
I just wanted to share that
No,
this
I'm
is
still here.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay. Okay. Is that all of October?
All of October until 31st.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everyone. So thank you for sharing that, Countess. I'll do a little bit more sort of preparation on that for Friday so I can speak to that a little bit more and give some resources to folks about ways they can support and be aware for sure. And Countess share, yeah, you shared that again, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, totally.
And maybe wear pink. Thank you.
And maybe wear pink. Well, my 5-year-old made me wear orange today because of Halloween and October. He's like, you gotta wear your orange shirt. And he picked out these huge orange earrings too. And I was like, oh, I'm teaching yoga. I don't know.
Beautiful.
I don't know about my big orange earrings.
Tell him we enjoyed the orange.
Okay, good. I'll tell him. Annette says, I will be going for a walk. Oh, wait, a walk, a breast cancer awareness walk, I'm guessing. That's awesome. 22 years. I think a lot of us have someone in our lives that's been affected by breast cancer. And, I think maybe you may not even know that there's someone in your life who's a survivor. So I think it's always good to be reminded. Thanks, y'all.
This is Millie, and I'm very happy to hear. I have had breast cancer, and I've been very fortunate to manage almost 20 years.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thanks for sharing, Millie. That's fantastic.
For commenting, and I hope everyone else is having as good an experience with this as I am. I'm still having difficulty getting connected correctly, but that's all right. I'm here.
I'm glad you're here too. I'm sorry you're having connection issues, but we're glad that you're here.
Caro, Ross Connor here. I'm the one
Hey, Ross.
I've got the picture of the turning colors in Pajarito Ski Mountain outside of Los Alamos, New Mexico. Anyway, the
Wow.
colors are changing, and so I thought I caught this photo to share and have as a background to remind everybody that the seasons are changing. I apologize for coming in late because I have another Zoom meeting before this, so I try to make it in, and the brain is getting adjusted that every time you come into it's easier to just meld in to the class, and then once you get into that, then it's helpful even if it's 10 or 15 minutes out of the whole hour.
Totally. Oh,
just
totally.
So that you know. And I'm a snow skier. This is a ski mountain, and so all the different exercises that you do are like stretches and things to get ready to go ski. So I just pretend that I'm skiing or going to ski and use that visualization to power me through all the different things that while I'm here. And sometimes I forget and start kicking furniture and the things over. So
Amazing.
anyway,
Amazing.
enough of me. Cheers.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. As a snowboarder, I won't hold it against you that you like to ski.
Well,
you're still welcome here.
I've shredded for the last 30 years too, so I cover both worlds. I'm with the Oklahoma City Snow Ski Club, so
oh wow,
we travel all around. So we've got both
wow.
skiers and skiers.
It's amazing. My husband's from Alaska, and the first time that I went to a ski slope with my Alaskan husband, I had to learn how to snowboard really fast to be cool. So I was like, just gonna throw myself down this mountain and pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Well, I have friends that that was the rollerblading days 30 years ago, and they gave me all the equipment for rollerblading. So all the things, the wrist guards and things. So everything fell, and the only thing I don't think they protected was the butt, but the buttocks. But I saved my wrist quite a bit and falling in the snow and stuff. And I went with a friend that his boys, one was a skier, the other one wanted to snowboard. So he said, Ross, could you go to snowboard lessons with him? So I shredded, but Burton and everything, they weren't allowed to go snowboard anywhere, in the history of it all. So to see that people would go and do this, you said, man, there's got to be something to it. And being in Oklahoma, there's no elevation, so to speak. So you don't need as much with a snowboard to go have fun. With skis, you just kind of point them down and you go 100 feet or something. There's nothing to it, or a sled. So, and I had a snowboard for years. So I better shut up again. So otherwise, I'll have other pictures of Taos and other places,
good.
You to see.
Good. I will say it looks like Kenneth commented, sorry I was late, but enjoyed the session here in rainy San Jose, California. Kenneth, we're so glad you were here. Y'all, it is always okay to roll in late. That is, I think like Ross was just saying, any amount of time that you are taken out of your day to pause and listen to your body and move in a way that's kind to yourself is great. So if you're here for the whole class, that's wonderful. If not, just come when you can. That's totally fine with me.
Hey, can you hear me? By any chance?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. I'm coming home from Virginia, and
yay! Welcome.
I know. Just let people know I've had breast cancer myself. I've had 4 surgeries and I'm good. God is blessing me.
Wow, God is good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
And I like the class. It's really helping me. I'm still new at this. And so I want to tell people, because other guy last week he said he couldn't lift his leg. I have lymphedema, also an
Mhm.
osteoarthritis. And some of the stuff I'm learning with you guys, how to shake those ankles and stuff, it really makes a difference. So I'm learning a whole
Mhm.
lot. And so I will definitely
Mhm.
classes. Don't worry about that. And yeah, last time I was trying to get it on that Wednesday, I mean on that Friday. I was a little bit late. But it's better to be there. Look, it's better to be there and then not be there. So I'm happy.
Yeah,
Thank you, Carol. Thank you
yeah.
so much. I know you're
Oh, you are
substituting,
so welcome.
but this is good. And also for men, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but men can get
Yes.
breast cancer as well. So you need to get those mammograms. I'm telling everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
still taking my medicine for it, letrozole, because I had DCIS. They caught it in the gland and papillomas.
Mhm.
So I'm blessed. So I tell everybody I know, get those tests, get those mammograms. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is like
People
a
Ab-
second year.
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
men in particular, if you have women in your family have had, you really need to go in and have a mammogram to see what's happening with you as well.
Very important. You're right. And
Mhm.
colon checks too, because a lot of people don't want to do it. The prostate and the colon, all that stuff is really good for people to go check. So I'll try to put my
Mhm.
pink on Friday, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having fun. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you
Oh,
so much. Don't ever
I'm
leave
so
parents. It's wonderful. I'm gonna
good.
meet
Good.
and good to meet everybody too. Good to see everybody.
Fantastic. Fantastic. This is great. I think it's always good to have a reminder about preventative care and prioritizing that. So I appreciate you all calling out um, getting your preventative care screenings done for mammograms and prostate cancer and colon cancer, like you said.
It's
Um,
important.
yes. Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here and sharing your time with us today and joining this community. I will be here on Friday as well. So instead of functional fitness, it'll be chair yoga again on Friday. And then next week, Sweet Adra will be back with y'all. This is where I say earn your salary. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Okay, see you
everyone.
Friday. All right, thanks.
See you Friday.